Hello, and thanks for joining us on Encore. Coming up on today's show. Costumes fit for a couture show. Karl Lagerfeld lends a hand for Benjamin Millepied's last ballet at the Paris Opera. From inspiring hope in Barack Obama's supporters to paying homage to the French Republic, street artist Obey hits Paris. And fighting sexism, the supernatural, and rivers of slime, director Paul Feig brings us a female-fronted version of Ghostbusters.
Can possess the human form.
What better way to bow out from the Opera de Paris than a ballet costumed by one of Paris's premier couturiers? Director of the company, Benjamin Millepied, commissioned Karl Lagerfeld, Chanel's artistic director, to take care of the dancer's wardrobe in the Brahms-Schönberg Quartet, currently playing at the Opera Bastille. Mary Columbell has this report.
Behind the scenes at the Opera de Paris, musicians, prima ballerinas and dancers are all rehearsing. The opera's director of dance, Benjamin Millepied, asked Karl Lagerfeld to design the costumes and decor for this Georges Balanchine dance piece.
Elle a un rôle très dur. Ah bon? Ouais. And she jumps a lot. She has to jump all the time. The first movement. It's her job.
The German couturier already has his hands busy at the helm of Chanel, Fendi and his eponymous label, but he couldn't resist designing for a ballet.
It's completely different. You can't use a haute couture dress for ballet. It would look like a rag. You can't use a dress like that for theater or ballet. No, it's not the same at all. The techniques are very different.
The meticulous designer listened carefully to the music before sketching costumes to reflect the romantic mood of the Brahms-Schönberg Quartet.
I like the melancholy of this background, while it's also a bit lighter in certain places. I think I invented a good atmosphere with this house in the twilight.
The show is about to start, and on stage the dancers glide effortlessly to the rhythm of Brahms's music. Or so it seems.
J'ai eu l'impression d'avoir fait un footing
The costume needs to be beautiful, and it has to be practical, which usually means a lot of adjusting, but now it looks ready for the show.
And even in the middle of the performance, the seamstresses adjust the costumes with a stitch here and there.
That's a whole better now.
The work they do here at the workshop is divine, especially the way they make the tutus. I don't know many other places where they make tutus of such quality.
The designer created 100 costumes in 3 months and adapted his couture to the ballet with graphic lines and corsets.
He brings a modern approach to this ballet. It needed a new interpretation.
Modernity and novelty, that is what Benjamin Millepied is after as he bows out of the Opéra de Paris and steps into the contemporary art world.
He's best known for Hope, his iconic portrait of US President Barack Obama, but there's plenty more to US street artist and activist Obey. Now he's given the people of Paris a gift, a giant mural with his version of Marianne, France's national symbol. It's an homage to the city's creative energy after 2015's terror attacks. Meanwhile, his Earth Crisis exhibition is on display at the Gallery Itinérance here in Paris. Kathy Clifford has more.
A new landmark for street art here in Paris's 13th arrondissement. Hard at work in front of his latest immense canvas, US artist Obey or Shepard Fairey, one of the biggest names in the field in the world.
We didn't have to add any more blue or red or anything. I mean, all the measurements worked out really well. Yeah.
Paint rollers, stencils and spray cans at hand. Gradually he brings his interpretation of France's national symbol Marianne to life.
I initially designed this image after the terror attacks at the Bataclan in November, just as a way of showing my support for Parisians. In my experience, people in France love culture and a way of saying, Paris, keep doing what you've been doing. Don't let this change your philosophy.
Obey began his career in the 90s with his Andre the Giant sticker campaign on the streets of New York. An interpretation of a French wrestler's face intended to spark curiosity and contemplation. In 2008, Hope, his renowned portrait of Barack Obama, brought him world fame. But Obey now has some regrets for backing the US president in his campaign.
It's not all Obama's fault that there wasn't as much progress as I hoped for, but yes, I was a bit disappointed. But recently, he's been more outspoken about climate change. He blocked the Keystone Pipeline. So I am happy that at the end, he tried to do things about issues I care about.
One of those issues, the theme of Obey's latest exhibition here in Paris. Earth Crisis celebrates air, water, and vegetation in a palette of blues.
Art is really a way to reach people emotionally and then stimulate them intellectually. So if it reaches people emotionally, then a conversation can happen. And there are a lot of other forms of media that can drive conversations, but I think art breaks through in a way that other things don't.
For Obey, it was a way to take the recent COP21 climate talks out of conference halls and into people's minds, their exchanges and their actions.
We're taking a look at the work of two contemporary artists now who've brought an intriguing vision of their country, Lebanon, to Paris in a series of installations. Joanna Hadji-Thomas and Khalil Joreji have put together a show called Two Suns in a Sunset. It explores the history of the country's conflicts and upheavals through pieces involving underwater video, plexiglass imagery, and a game of mirrors and stickers that calls on viewers to reveal the artwork themselves. We spoke to the exhibition's curator about the show.
Even if these artworks don't represent the Lebanese civil war explicitly, what interested the artists is the idea of memory, what people remember after living in a country that has been traumatized by a war that lasted 15 years. What also interested the artists is that certain parts of Lebanese history have disappeared from collective consciousness after this war.
And that show, Two Suns in a Sunset, is on at the Jeu de Paume Gallery in Paris till September 25th. Now, visiting the world-famous Château de la Loire in France is high on many tourist wish lists, but what if you can't make it all the way here? Google has come to the rescue with new technology that provides a virtual tour of the region's majestic castles. Mary Colombel takes a digital look around the former homes of France's nobility.
Digitising French history step by step. This Google employee is taking 360-degree pictures of the Château de Chambord, one of France's renowned castles in the Loire Valley. The internet giant has signed agreements with 18 chateaux in the region, the goal to create virtual tours. Google's Cultural Institute seeks to make the world's heritage accessible online to anyone and everyone.
The project is the fruit of a collaboration with cultural institutions all over the world, more than 1,000 today in more than 70 countries, and it's accessible online for free.
Thanks to Street View image capture technology, curious web users will also be able to take a virtual stroll in Chenonceau, Azay-le-Rideau, and 15 other of the national treasures in the Loire Valley. And there's an added bonus, as virtual visitors will be able to zoom in on the many paintings and tapestries that hang in the chateau's halls.
The art camera is a system that Google built to take ultra-high resolution images of fine art, what we call gigapixels. It works by taking a lot of very, very small pictures, very zoomed in, and then the system stitches them together so a person can zoom into the finest details, so that it would be just like going up and staring with your nose right next to the canvas.
In total, web users will have access to 46 virtual exhibitions featuring over 2,000 documents and works of art.
It's a daring move, trying to revisit a cinematic cult classic, but director Paul Feig was happy to rise to the challenge, tackling the perennially popular Ghostbusters, which was a smash hit in 1984. Feig enlisted the help of comedy favourites Kristen Wiig and Melissa McCarthy for this female-fronted version, which takes in the supernatural, the spooky, and of course, plenty of slime. Its two leading ladies told us about remaking the movie.
You have to like pay respect to the first two, and which we did in a very, I think, very clever, smart way. And it's a different movie, entirely different story, different characters, but it's the same world.
This is still that great story of unlikely heroes, and I think you can always get behind that. I think you always root for that. It always works. It's a type of story that I always love. I love to root for the people that you don't think can do it, and then watch them do it.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Oh, did you want to?
Sorry, I'll let you.
Next time. Okay.
Someone is creating a device that amplifies paranormal activity, and we might be the only ones who can stop it.
Holtzman, come on.
The hat is too much, right? Is it the wig or the hat?
We're taking a little leap back in history now, just a couple of million years, with the latest instalment of Ice Age. It's the 5th film in the prehistoric series, with Jennifer Lopez and Simon Pegg lending their voices to the animated creatures. We'll leave you with a clip from Ice Age, Collision Course. Remember, you can get more news on our website, and do keep up with Encore on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. There's more news coming up on France 24 after this.
Do you mind?
Fudsucker! Incoming!
Move! Move! Get inside the cave!
Hurry, Granny! Don't you hurry me! I've been struck by lightning 4 times!
Granny!
Then you've had hot breakfasts.
Here we go.
Ice Age Collision Course.
It sounds like it's slowing down. Yep, it's definitely over. Except for...